sure it's solid.
It really, if you just touch it, if you just actually touch it and you rub it on your skin, it's liquefied. So it's really not that hard to,
It's just right, I think what she's asking is because we can buy coconut oil that you use to, for on your skin and other purposes that are already in a liquefied state, is that, should you ever use that for cooking?
well, you know, like we use,
That would be a pure form, would it not be?
this would be a pure form, yes. The solid would be a pure form. It is a better form.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is, so for coconut oil, right, a more solid form at room temperature is,
It's not as refined.
Natural.
yeah, is more natural. The other stuff is good for us, for okay for, rubbing on or
They'll have an
skin or
additive
whatever.
lubricant and some other sodium lauryl sulfate or something in there to prevent so it's slippery on your face, just to keep it in that formulation.
So so the things they add to it to make the coconut oil in a liquid bottle, alter it that's not what we would want to cook with or really consume for other purposes.
But Sharon,
Good
when
question.
you use the coconut, or that, does it give a flavor? Then that specific flavor.
It should give that coconut
It
flavor.
does.
If it is a good coconut oil, you should be
Yeah.
tasting that flavor.
I think it
Yes,
adds a
yes.
little bit of
Mhm.
sweetness to it.
Yeah.
Can you use that like in baking?
Oh, I use it in baking. I use it in. You can use it for everything. Yes. Yeah. I'm not a big baker anymore, Pat, because I don't eat a whole lot of sweets and so on and so forth. So the ratios, you really have to look up the ratios on how you use it when you bake.
Okay.
But like I still love to make treats like my chocolate, and I would use honey and pure cocoa and this olive oil. It's like a little fudge. I brought that in here before everybody's tasted that. It just doesn't have any sugar in it, although honey does turn to sugar, but it isn't as refined as regular sugar. So.
If you're going to do popcorn, would you use coconut oil or?
Good.
You definitely could. Yep.
Drizzle.
Yep. You just warm it and drizzle it over the top, and your seasonings that you want, like that Bragg's that we can really find. Awesome. So, okay, I'm just going to go on to. I know. Sorry.
It's okay, because questions are good. We'll try to be at the end.
I have recipes up here for some of the things that I have up here, but I'm just going to say that I'm going to just talk to you a little bit about the salad dressings. I'm not going to go into what is in them. You can actually walk up and
This
see.
is a no-no. We'll just point that out. That's not if there's a good example. That's That's one
And
of our past.
I brought it only for you to turn it around and
Yeah.
look at the ingredients. Just take a look at the ingredients in there. So.
Right, we look at, like you said before, you look at all those healthy things, which we all do it, and we say, well, I'll eat it.
I'm eating healthy.
If I dip it in my, if I dip it in my dressing and add some flavor to it, but, make it with your own fresh, maybe, herbs and some olive oil and a little vinaigrette and, or some balsamic, and make your own little tasty 3 or 4 ingredient versus 50 unpronounceable ingredients.
So, just take the time to turn over your labels. It's really, really important. So, so I'll skip that because I have the recipe up here. There's a lot of good things up here. You can come and take a look at. We can talk about it after. One of my go-to snacks, and it has been for a really, really long time, is nuts. And if you're taking your baby steps and you want to get rid of chips and you want to get rid of combos or whatever it is that you're eating for your 3 o'clock snack, your 2 o'clock snack, whatever it is for a pick-me-up, I'm telling you, a protein is much better than a sugar. It sustains you a lot longer. It stays with you. It makes you fuller. If that's your 3 o'clock snack, by the time you come home, you're not going to eat that row of Oreos because you didn't actually, you snacked a little bit in between. So I'm a raw nut girl. I make my own nut butters. I love making my own nut butters, cashew butter, almond butter, sunflower seed butter. But if that isn't in the books for you, there are nut butters that you can use. I shy away from peanut butter. The only reason why I shy away from peanut butter is because if you really do some research, and I'm not going to get into it fully, peanuts have a lot of fungus. So fungus and candida is a lot of gut issues in people's lives right now. But this is how I store my nuts and I prepare them. every time I buy them in bulk in a bag like this, and I keep them in the freezer. I never just leave them in a jar on my counter unless I feel like I'm going to eat them immediately, because they are a raw food and they will grow fungus. So I keep them in my freezer, I pull them out. This could be my breakfast sometimes, this could be my 2 o'clock snack, I put these in my juices, so on and so forth. If you're taking baby steps, it won't hurt you to even eat salted ones, it's okay. It's a whole lot better.
Roasted.
Or dry roasted. It's a whole lot better as you're making the transition from chips to nuts.
Where are you buying your bulk?
Well, I love to buy my bulk stuff. I mainly buy it at Super One, and they only have 3 different kinds of raw nuts. The best selection of raw nuts is the Marquette Food Co-op. But when you're there, but in between time, these are from Super One. Super One. And you know, for us that are working with Steve, he has nuts in the over here, so it's a whole lot better to just go get your nuts and eat those, and even though they might be salted.
Yeah.
Can I add a suggestion? If you're making baby stuff and you want a little sweetness or chocolate, throw a few dark chocolate chips in with your nuts and
Exactly.
maybe 2 raisins.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's very little extra sugar, and yet it satisfies that sweet sugar, that chocolate urge.
And
Correct.
Dark chocolate has antioxidant properties too that have health benefits.
Because it helps your body helps you metabolize it better because of the protein, the healthy fat, and the carbs together.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of times I will also throw raw coconut in with that. You can buy the raw coconut flakes, and I will throw raw coconut in with that also. They sell that at Super One and Econo Foods too. So my last thing on the table is, and I'm not going to expand on it because I think we all know what sugar is. It's the cocaine of our nation. It's really, 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 really inflammatory.
Real white.
It's really, really inflammatory. It gives you your 3 o'clock drag. What am I going to do, that 3 o'clock drag? You know that 3 o'clock drag. Everybody knows that 3 o'clock drag. So what do you go do? Get a candy bar to pep you up. And what do? By the time you get home, you got the 5 o'clock drag, right? So it definitely an emotional roller coaster, sugar is. It affects you mentally, it affects you in weight gain, it just affects you in a lot of different ways. Now, if you choose to do a small amount of it, so be it. It's just that in our society, everything is looked at as a treat. Nobody really looks at the staple foods anymore. And we do it even to our own kids. Everything that we eat, we used to eat as a treat. And now we just eat it all the time. Really, that's what it boils down to. So
It puts unnecessary strain on your organs too. So your liver is going to have to process the extra amount of sugar that you're eating every day. You're not getting the nutritional balance that you need to get through the day. So your brain is not getting the nutrients it needs to think properly. It's a vicious cycle.
yeah.
And it's the addictive nature of it. It just creates cravings. I mean,
It does.
My husband and I kind of went off of it for a while, totally. And then we said, okay, we'll try to make this work for life, so on the weekends we'll have a little or whatever. But you know what? It really is, you just
It has
gotta
a-
have
yeah.
it all.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have it all, you don't crave it.
Correct.
But I still do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we are really sometimes even getting it naturally, like with a banana has lots of sugars, and that also can make you crave processed sugars. You know what I'm saying? So that's why even when you're juicing, it's very important that you're not just juicing banana smoothies or you're juicing, you're drinking tons of orange juice, because that will make you. Natural sugars can even make you crave processed sugars. So you have to be very careful with that and know where the glycemic index lies with, eating more berries and things like that when you're making your smoothies and drinks.
Do you have any artificial sweetener like stevia or anything that you use?
Yep.
Yep, that was the next thing I was getting into. So the only two things that I use for artificial sweeteners, and I'm not a big artificial sweetener girl. I mean, I'll use them here and there, but that stevia right there is one that I use. And if I am going to bake something, because right, we live in the society that you got to go to somebody's house, and I will use xylitol. So those are the only two that I would suggest. Lots of times though, when I'm making a really great treat, I will use honey, although that is sugar, right? But it's just a little bit natural form of sugar. And I do have a handout, you know, when I'm baking some of my vegetables and stuff, I will use a little molasses because that really gives things a little bit more warm flavor. It's a little bit more comfort food. And then dates are another nice sweetener of getting, you know, things a little bit sweeter, but not. But if you eat that sweet stuff on a daily basis, it's just going to throw you back, just like you were saying. You know, you still will start to crave it. So.
But a couple of dates and mix it with cocoa.
Absolutely, fantastic. Yeah, it breaks that sugar craving. And okay, so yeah, we could have a whole segment on sugar. So I'm just gonna say that I really appreciate you all being here. I hope you can take something away, put something in your home. If it's even coconut oil that you're not already using in your home, just play with it, enjoy the ride with it, experiment. It has a lot of great properties, and I have a quote that I stand by. I put it into my lifestyle, and I probably think about it every single day just to keep me on track, because it's a journey. It's a work in process to feel good. It takes guts to be healthy, and it's a lot of work, but it's so worth it in your mind clarity and the way that you feel. And I don't ever focus on diet. If you focus on diet, no, I want to lose weight, do this, do that, it seems like you fall. If you just start changing things and introducing new things into your fridge and your mouth and getting rid of a few bad things. I'm not telling you to go take everything out of your house. You know what I'm saying? You've ate it for, what, 30 years? Read the label and educate yourself a little bit. So if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. That's one of my really, really big mottos. I'm going to leave it up to Jordan here. He's interactive, but he has some good things to say.
Yeah. So is everyone here familiar with the term vector when it comes to disease? Anybody? Vector? That's the carrier that brings the disease and actually infects the organism, which happens probably most of the time to be us, because we think about ourselves most of the time. So mosquitoes carry malaria, ticks carry a variety of diseases, but Lyme disease being one. We even carry AIDS, Hep C, those kinds of things. But when you look at our food, I consider that a vector of carrying cardiovascular disease, which leads to stroke, heart attacks, and diabetes. But you don't see that being publicized in the world today.
Oh, I put it to Jordan and we forgot Wanda. We'll move to Wanda afterwards. Sorry.
So you can see Burger King, McDonald's, all that being publicized in our world, but you don't see AIDS being publicized, or you don't see Lyme disease being publicized. You have organizations that are out there to fight those kinds of things, but you don't really see that for food-related diseases. So it's kind of up to us to come up with a plan to defeat it on our own. When you get the nutritional balance, good nutritional balance, eating the right foods that you should be eating, instead of eating, say, that McDonald's, that Burger King, or even just processed foods you find in the grocery store, you're going to feel much better. Yeah, you're not going to require as much food intake, because if you're getting your calories, your nutrition from lower nutritional value foods, you're going to require a lot more of that food to make it through the day. So each meal is going to be a larger quantity going into your body to get that nutritional value that your body needs to sustain itself throughout the day.
That's what I learned on Monday night. It's just a different way that you hear it and you think of it differently. As I never thought of it that way either. That actually eating something that's not very nutrient dense is creating my hunger for later, not even necessarily because it's a carbohydrate or whatever, but if your body is constantly looking for the things that it needs, the vitamins, the minerals, whatever, when you put food in, but your body doesn't have it's not getting the vitamins and nutrients, your body's still going to ask you to keep eating because it wants to get those things in, the vitamins and the minerals, and so I never thought of really non-nutrient food making me hungrier or making your body still want to crave food just looking for the good things that it wants to get out of it, and that was kind of a
Yeah.
bing bing for me, like.
I kind of have a little bit different thing. I've been trying to get into a lot of this. I'm not as much as your mom.
Yeah.
I've been trying to, but my thing is that now I don't feel hunger very often.
No.
But, okay, how do I maintain my weight? I don't want, at my age, to get so tiny.
No.
That, so how do you maintain that so that you're not losing some of that?
Well, potatoes are a good source of carbohydrates. There's not something you want to eat on a regular basis,
Yeah, I was
especially
told I can't eat any white potatoes.
no
I
white
do eat
potatoes. Sweet potatoes,
Yeah.
you still get carbohydrates from sweet potatoes. Natural fats like the coconut oils, you're going to get calories from everything. Caloric intake equals weight. If your body doesn't put out as many calories from exercise every day as it is taking in, you're going to gain weight or at least balance your weight out. So depending on how much you eat and your level of activity throughout the day, you have to find the balance to where it keeps your weight on it.
I think what she's saying is probably a common problem, but right.
Yeah.
This and we find.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it is.
I've had that. I've had
Yeah.
days where I'm just not hungry,
Yeah.
and so then you don't want to eat. And what you're saying is right. If I'm eating really clean and my body's not telling me eat, I don't just go 3 days without. Should I just go 3 days without eating? But right, you're looking for a balance.
You don't eat as much to make yourself feel satisfied.
Right.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're finding that your portions are a lot smaller.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it's just
I can't eat all
Yeah.
So yeah, but if it's like he said, if it's nutrient dense or caloric dense, if you're eating the good fats, the olive
Avocados
oil,
and the
things in
good fats that should
and
really.
nuts even really, nuts are kind of high caloric for a small portion, but then they're good for us.
Or light snacks throughout the day rather than eating those big meals that make you feel full. You just get some caloric intake, little bits throughout the day, and your body's not putting out that exercise that's going to burn off all those calories. You'll maintain a weight.
And things are customized to different people who are on different kinds of meds or any kind of thing, and that's not justifiable here. We're not here to talk, but that's what Jordan and Wanda are putting in. They're customizing it for you by taking a look at what you're doing and how you're working with your body. Because lots of people take meds, lots of people don't, lots of people don't drink enough water in a day, so on and so forth. And that's the wellness program that they're working with you with. And it's really nice to have a doctor on board to take a look at your meds for you, because sometimes they're not looked at on a daily basis with the doctor. So
Yeah, especially if you're seeing multiple physicians. Say you see your cardiologist, you see your primary care physician, you see your neurologist. Not in every situation will they even have the time to look at the medications prescribed by those other doctors. So really the only time that someone sees your full list of medications will be here at the pharmacy. Granted, you use the same pharmacy and not use a mail order pharmacy or transfer all over to different pharmacies because the costs are lower at a certain pharmacy than another. I don't care if it's TDS or if it's mail order pharmacy or if it's Walgreens. Have all your medications at the same pharmacy so that your pharmacist can kind of manage those and see what interacts with each other, because problems can arise and it happens more often than not, and we have to take care of that every day. And I think of myself as being pretty good at that, and so trust us, I guess, because or don't trust us because you can't really trust anybody. But when you have medications from so many different places, that's really the only place where they're going to see all of them and take the time to look at them all. And also building on that, when you're getting your nutritional value from the good foods rather than eating all that. All the other processed foods and everything in your nutritional intake is getting to the point where you're not eating as much, you're probably starting to lose a little bit of weight. If you have disease states like those cardiovascular disease states like high blood pressure or diabetes or something similar to that, your medications are probably going to become a little bit more effective than they were when you were eating as well. And that's kind of what our program's going to hit on is if you're making that kind of progress where your blood pressure is going down or your sugar levels are going down, I want to be there to help you, you know, change your drug doses or even eliminate drugs if you can. And even if you're starting to feel better because your nutritional value that you're getting from your food is much better, you're getting more energy, you're feeling a lot better, you may not need an antidepressant that lots of people are on today. And we'd like you to get to that point where you're feeling healthier and you don't need other things to sustain you through the day. Transferred over to Lauren.
And I'm sorry, it was supposed to be Juan
Yeah,
between Jordan, but we're
that's
doing it a
all
little backwards.
Play by ear. And I'm just gonna go very quickly too, because we wanna stay kind of within our time restraints, and I have a cheat sheet over there, so I can go fast, you know, 1 through 10. Because I don't want anybody to feel overwhelmed either. That's how I get into, sometimes the more I read, the more I look at things, and then I just feel like, I'm not doing anything right. And we don't want anybody to feel that way. We're all at where we are, and I think the best success is in smaller. It's not drastic change, it's not I'm gonna be on this diet, it's making it a lifestyle, part of little things that you incorporate every day, and it takes, read before, and I believe it takes 21 times to do something to really make it a habit. You're not just going to go one day and go for a walk and then want to go for a walk every day, but as you build a pattern, you do it repeatedly. Once you've done it maybe 20 times, then it starts to become more natural. So, but in today's society, because it is built to be busy and fast, we are going to eat out, we are going to run through fast food places. So I just have some little tips and tricks for things we can do and incorporate one at a time to make improvements when we do that. A lot of my habits started out even for different reasons. Like the number one thing I say if you're going to go to a restaurant, order water. None of us drink as much water as we should. I mean, how many of us think we get 8 glasses of pure water every single day? Okay, good.
I love it.
Good.
Good job. I
So I'll put my
applaud you.
hands up, I don't do it every
That is a
now
hard
and every
task,
day.
but that is, I mean,
It is a hard
but it's a
task.
really good thing.
Water is the only thing you'll put in your body that's not naturally rejected by your body. None of it is wasted.
Yep, and yeah, for the majority of us, we don't get enough. So start in a restaurant, just get water. Like I said, I started because I was cheap. It's usually free, and so that's why we get water. But then I realized that it should. It's a habit, and it helps. We drink that with every meal instead of drinking your calories, instead of getting a soda or juice or something else. Then one of the big hidden tricks in a restaurant is most of us think we go in, we're going to eat a salad, right? Salads are healthy. And then that kind of comes back to this. Depending on what's in the salad itself may be healthy, but a lot of times what we're putting on it, a lot of cheese, a lot of fat-drenched croutons, and pre-processed dressing, and then that's what makes it, it can take something that's supposed to be good for us and make it kind of bad. So my suggestion is in a salad, the more color the better. I mean, if you can get a salad that's got black beans and different nuts, or carrots and cabbage and whatever, more of a rainbow is healthier. So you want a colorful salad, get a vinaigrette or something that seems a little bit more natural. And the biggest tip that I learned, because typically with salads, even when I make them at home, what do you want when you eat a salad? You want to taste the dressing in every bite, right? So what did I usually do is put it on, mix it up, and if I couldn't see the dressing all over it, well then I put more dressing, you kind of mix it up if you want. So a trick that you can use that I've learned is you get your salad dressing on the side, which a lot of people do to kind of just control how much they're putting on there instead of the restaurant putting it on. But I find that instead of even putting it on your salad, if you leave the dressing on the side, you put your salad on your fork, and then you just
love this tip.
dip a
It's
little
so awesome.
into the dressing, because then you taste the dressing in every bite. You know that you're getting some, but it can greatly reduce the amount you use. Instead of coating it, you're just getting a little
Or you
taste.
can dip your fork in it. And then
Oh,
Yep, that's
Yeah, put the fork in it first
I
and
love
then
that
put it on
tip.
the
I just
salad.
think it's a great tip.
Yep.
Yep.
Good. Another tip I think is, typically we go out for lunch, or a lot of us go out for dinner, is that if you can incorporate it again into a lifestyle or change, try to go out for breakfast. I think breakfast just is a lot easier. There's a lot of healthier choices on the menu. You know, if you can get eggs or like a nice oatmeal, choose a piece of ham maybe instead of the actual like bacon or a sausage patty. Get an English muffin instead of a biscuit. There's a lot, I think, better choices on a breakfast menu. And different types of restaurants, if you're going like, it's kind of all the same. You want to stay away from as many sauces as you can. If you're going to an Asian restaurant, look for the steamed vegetables, get the meats and stuff maybe before they're saturated in some kind of sauce. So, and choose a healthy side. When we go through fast food, that's probably some of the most difficult. But I think a lot of us know you can look for grilled. Get a grilled chicken instead of the fried. For a side, restaurants are, you know, we vote with our dollars. And if we stop, whatever we stop buying, businesses they will change. Yep. They will change because they want to sell us. So they're gonna change and give us what we want. So you can get fruit cups and nut cups or a side salad. You know, and look for those, or even a soup. Look for a healthy soup. A chili usually is great because it has beans in it, a lot of protein and fiber. And other soups, again, we want to try and stay away from creamy. Creamy usually means bad and a lot of calories. So something with a clear broth, like a chicken noodle or a chicken dumpling or something that has a clear base. And then when we're going to like a sandwich shop or something like that, again, nothing in and of itself is evil. You know, like cheese isn't bad, cheese isn't horrible. I don't believe that you'd never have another piece of cheese. But in our society, what we've done is we've taken every good thing, just like wheat. Wheat used to be good, and we've just sort of morphed it. We've kind of transitioned into changing things that used to be good, now aren't so good. Cheese isn't evil. But when we process it and we put it on 9 out of 10 things that we eat, well, now it starts to become kind of bad for us. So again, it's in small processes. I love the taste of cheese. So if you're going to get a sandwich or a sub, but maybe they put 4 slices on there, ask them to just put 2. You know, just a little cut back every little bit is just kind of a transition. And again, get more color, more vegetables, things that you can layer on there, the better.
So it's important to take those baby steps, and it's important to remember that you shoot for persistence, not perfection. Really, in the end, because nobody's perfect. We all are going to cheat.
Yeah.
I've learned the way the way I have a glass of wine is to have a half a glass of wine, then a glass of water, then another half a glass of wine, then a glass of water, and that's how I mingle with people now. Instead of drinking my 6 glasses of wine and going home and going. So just those changes.
It'll save you from a hangover too.
Yeah.
I did this weekend, and my father-in-law didn't know you could do that, and I've never had McDonald's in the country turn me down. I did this for breakfast, and all McDonald's was serving breakfast all day.
Oh, right.
You can just order scrambled eggs at McDonald's. And they always know how to charge you for it, so it's not like I'm the only one doing it.
So you can make that choice.
You can make that choice. And I've had it at McDonald's all over the country, and I'll say, I just want scrambled eggs. If I'm really hungry, I'll say, I want a double order of scrambled eggs. And they're cheap, and nobody's ever had to ask the manager how to bring it out.
Yeah, they don't charge you for this sandwich, and then you just take the eggs out.
I didn't want to order the big breakfast and throw everything away. But I just, especially now that they're serving breakfast all day, you know, it's probably the healthiest thing you can eat at McDonald's.
Right.
Right now, they're running the day, the scrambled eggs. So I was going to put that, my father-in-law, we were there this weekend, and he goes, oh, I'm going to have that too. So he ordered the same thing. But I just,
Right. You know, I mean, it's hard in your fast-paced lives. You can't just stop doing everything that you're doing. You just got to make those baby steps and stay persistent.
I never thought of that, but they're helping us out, right? What I just said, breakfast usually has healthier options. Now they're going to have breakfast all day. Well, okay, good, because maybe there's some other options on there. And then the last little trick that I have, which is also on my cheat sheet, but that I just heard within the last month or two, and I went, again, bing, like, oh my gosh, is that how many of us try when you go to a restaurant, because we know the portions are oversized. They're more than we should be eating. But, you know, it comes, and we maybe try and cut it in half, and we're just going to eat half, is ask for your to-go box at the beginning. Just ask them to bring it right after they bring the meal or with the meal, and you take whatever it is that you don't want to eat, and you just put it in the box right away. Because we all try, I do it, you try to eat just half, but then it's there. And so you're still talking, and you just kind of pick at it. Now it's not enough to take home, so I might as well just finish
eating it all.
And then you leave the restaurant and go, oh, I'm so miserable. Why did I do that? Right?
And out of sight is out
It's
of
a
mind,
great
so
tip.
to just
I love
ask
the tip.
for your to-go box at the beginning, take off whatever it is that you know, you don't want to try to consume at that meal. And again, because I'm cheap, I mean, I started with only trying to eat half a meal because I wanted to get 2 meals out of one. You know, save money. If I went out for lunch, I could have the rest later for dinner. But it will help you, you know, cut back on everything. And it's just little things like that, like out of sight, out of mind. When it's out, and then you can still get, to me, that satisfaction of I cleaned my plate. Right? Because how many of us were raised to that you don't leave food behind, or but if you take it off,
Don't want to be
you can clean-
wasteful.
You
Yeah.
can clean your plate and feel like it's, you know, you're good. So, and then, did you have anything at this point? Anything else to add?
I did. I just wanted to say Thursday, this lady, Brussels sprouts only are in our area for a really, really short period of time. Her name is Ruth, and she's in the Near Garth parking lot. Y'all know where the Near Garth parking, and so she probably has them for 3 weeks tops, because you know they're best picked after frost. You can take these home, clean them up, blanch them for like 2.5 minutes, lay them on a towel, put them in a freezer bag, and you got a great, you guys like Brussels sprouts, it's one of my favorites, so,
We all love Brussels sprouts, right?
Yeah.
but, she's got great produce also, lots of really, really, really great produce, she's a great farmer also, so.
I never liked Brussels sprouts, but they're so good if you just cut them in half.
And roast them.
And roast them in the oven, or just pan fry with a little bit of like coconut oil,
Mhm.
and then I sprinkle some pecans and some raisins on them. Oh, whoa.
They're awesome, yeah, there's so many ways you can do them, but.
When is she there? Thursday?
She will be there Thursday morning, and her last market is Sunday. So she's just a little independent, it's a mom and pop thing, but they're great people, so.
So,
And then,
oh,
go ahead.
I was gonna quote that too, but
Sorry.
so we were. This is a lot of information because we tossed a lot of information out to you today. But implementation is where you start getting results. And what we're going to be doing here at TDS is we're doing a 10-week program with Wanda heading it up and being a health coach, and me being the medication overseer and helping everybody out with their doses and that sort of thing. And it's going to be a tailored program to your needs and what you're willing to do and be able to do. So
So it's 10 weeks, once a week, individual, private sessions that are going to explore, right, our basic healthy lifestyles, and just so for you to know that it's going to be a slower process on building knowledge to help you create new habits and implement strategies one at a time. Most success is built, again, life's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and it's like if we just one step at a time take it through. So we're offering this. You sign up for the 10-week program. If you just pay up front, it's $99. If anybody feels that they need to take it kind of as they go for payments, then it's $12 a session. And they'll be held here in the mall, just a little bit in a little kiosk down the hall. So you can take one of these pamphlets. It's over there too, or a little bit more information. And I want to commend, if any of you kind of think about that, like the price or the investment, I think we all know that one trip to the doctor's office, a visit,
$300,
or
yeah.
diet plans or something that we've invested in the past, these quick fix things, it's a very, very reasonable investment, and I give credit to that, to the TDS group, because they're sort of sub-funding it to make sure that they can get it out there to their clients and anybody. You don't have to have prescriptions there to be able to do it,
Right,
so
right, yeah.
anybody's eligible.
And this is a website, Food Matters. It's probably one of my favorite websites. They have great recipes. We can all do the daily steps, but we want variety in our lifestyle. So we need a great website or a great cookbook or something to go to. They are the Netflix of health. So They have a whole Netflix program that you can actually order and buy. We watch it. Great movies. So I just want to point that out to you, that if you're interested in going to foodmatters.com, it's a really, really good
Very
source.
uplifting things too, just to watch in general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Instead
And
of,
again, thank you for coming out, because that's,
Yeah,
this is
we
the first
appreciate
step.
it.
Getting
And we're gonna
information.
be having more seminars down the road too.
Yes, and we'll have, this was the same we did on Monday night, but we're gonna look to implement, that's another part of the wellness program, is to have them on different topics, but maybe every 6 to 8 weeks, to start with, and again, if we can build, eventually maybe to once a month and keep offering free.
Yeah, and those always
Free's good
free.
too. All right, so thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.